Welcome back to This Was Supposed to Be Easy, your go-to podcast for connection, joy, and a good dose of laughter.
Hosted by two friends who've seen enough of life to know that it's never as simple as it sounds
or looks.
Each conversation celebrates the diverse journeys we travel, the moments of bravery, the strength we didn't know we had, and the joy we find along the way.
Because let's be honest, life is full of things that were supposed to be easy, but turned out to be harder.
And definitely funnier
than we thought. This is Amy.
And this is Cheryl. And if it were easy, we wouldn't be here.
Hi, everybody. So we are back now. It is 2026, and we are excited to be here. So we have some of our beloved guests, Dr. JoDell Heroux and Dr. Hoffman, joining Cheryl and I today in a discussion of kind of who we want to be for 2026. I actually made a joke earlier today about the eras of 2026 and what we would name our eras if we could do so.
Which really resonated with JoDell and I, by the way.
I kind of love that.
Yeah. You know, so
it's got me thinking.
Yes, we'll do it. But in just thinking about words that we want to be, where do we want to do, kind of all those things. But what we really wanted to do in this conversation with each other is extend this conversation to you too. So as you are listening to us from wherever you are listening to us, whether that be in the car, on a walk, running the kids to school, anything like that, from your desk, just where you're listening, we want you to think about each question that we throw out to one another, what answer you would have for yourself, who you want to be this year, how you want your year to go, and the intentions that you craft out for yourself. So if we were doing the same thing in going into 2027, what would you have to say for this year that just happened? So with that, we'll go ahead and jump in and have a nice little chat.
I was thinking when you just said, if this was 2027, you're saying put ourselves out there 360-ish, depending on what day you're listening, 65 if it's like legit New Year's Day. But what would we want to say about our last 360 plus days?
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Also, just so everybody knows, Holly has been watching Book Club, the vintage version. And so, we kind of have half of our book club sitting here with you all today. So welcome to Book Club. And the leading question of the day is, I have no idea what, but I'm going to throw one out there, I think. And this comes from Holly just noticing that I have some drying orange peels on a plate behind me. She asked me if it was leftover pizza in my office.
Because I was ready for the pizza. I'm all about leftover pizza.
But I have those orange peels drying behind me because I've said a few times in recent episodes that I really want to spend this winter season, which is now taking me into this next year, being quieter and making a little bit. I want to make, and I want to do that with things that kind of have come from the earth or from nature. So that might be the flowers that I love. It might be something else. It might be orange peels, which I've been saving for a couple weeks now. Mm-hmm. I've been watching all the reels and thinking about what I might make with the orange peel. So here's the question. Gosh, can I talk 10 minutes without actually asking a question? This is for anybody, including those of you listening, but what is something new that you want to learn this year or try this year? Take a moment and think about that.
Something new this year. I think about the things that are really important to me, like connections is huge to me. Connecting with other people, connecting groups of people together, or individuals, or building connections within relationships. I always look forward to a new year and the people that maybe I'm going to get to meet that I don't even know are out there. Opportunities for relationships that haven't happened yet. And so I laugh about Hallmark movies that have been on a lot lately and how it always works out that A, everyone is incredibly good looking. B, everybody looks perfect. They wake up with perfect hair and makeup. And
We've all seen
every
those pictures of you when you wake up. You guys,
which,
you all do not know what you're missing. That girl uses Aquanet and what it does while she's sleeping.
She needs a silk pillowcase.
It is phenomenal.
thank you so much for sharing that.
Sorry,
with
I
everyone.
interrupted that
That's
whole thought
awesome.
process.
That's okay. I just had some thoughts of Aquanet, but so yeah, I just think about realistic, meaningful connections with others, and I love the new semester coming up, getting to work with new students and building a new community within that. I think about opportunities for my family as my daughter gets ready to go on her study abroad. Part of her clinic.
Where?
Oh, she's going to Oaxaca, Mexico for her clinical study abroad. And so I'm super excited for her and those new relationships and new connections she's going to make. I think about that, just within my nuclear family and my extended family, new opportunities coming up. My nephew's starting grad school, and I'm just excited about new opportunities we don't even know about, coming up. But just the importance of having those connections and what that might look like in different ways. So I'm excited about that. We don't even know what's coming up sometimes.
I know. I love that. I love that. Like when I think about something new I want to learn, I thought about crafting, and you thought about learning new things about people you know, and or new things they're experiencing, or learning from new people. So very different directions to the same question.
And I feel like my friends have already answered a lot of my questions, and I feel like I have even more questions for them. Like my family, we traveled over break, and I was cheap and didn't want to pay the extra money to like pick your seat. So I said, just make some new friends. Just go on the plane and make some new friends. So so the two extroverts.
You're the extrovert.
The two extroverts were like, all right, we did that. And the introverts were in hell for that flight, but it's okay. Everybody made it, and we're good if we take a chance to just look around and see the opportunities ahead. Pretty awesome.
No pressure. Amy or JoDell, do you have anything new you've been thinking about that you want to learn?
I mean, so one of my core values is learning, right? So I'm always trying to learn or thinking about learning. And so, but I'm not really good at learning outside my comfort zone. I tend to lean towards like expanding my understanding or my knowledge around things that I'm comfortable with. So I was thinking about, as Holly was talking, I was thinking to myself, okay, but what's new, Holly? You love connecting with people. What are you going to do different to connect with people? And then I'm thinking, you talk to strangers. So I don't know. Like, I'm not sure if you have a new approach for doing those things, but it just made me giggle because that's who you are. And I was thinking about, for me, what I'm hoping to do in the year ahead that's new is being more intentional about allowing myself space to do new things. And so right now I'm just having a little bit of fun with giving myself permission to have fun doodling. And I am an artist and I love to create. I don't often give myself time because I think as an artist, I feel like I need hours to actually sit down and create, and I need space, and I don't have an art studio or anything like that. But I've been watching these reels of people who just doodle. And then there's some research suggesting that doodling, one, is really creative, and then it opens you up for being creative in a lot of areas. And it also helps soothe your mind. So it's a mindfulness practice too. And so I've been doing that. It is pretty powerful. Like I've given myself permission to sit down for an hour and doodle, and it just feels like I just feel good after. So learning how to give myself permission to do those things, especially once we get back into the full swing of the semester and things get busier. Yeah, learning how to give myself permission to do things that are not work related.
But can so positively impact your work life, like being a creative thinker, in personal life too, like with problem solving or ideas for projects you haven't even thought about.
Yeah, and it's so interesting. And maybe it has something to do with this new doodling. I don't know, but I've had some ideas for different research kind of tracks that I want to, taking the time, it's just interesting, taking the time to be creative. It just opens up different pathways that I hadn't given myself time to explore before. And I don't know. It's just really interesting. So,
I'm curious, JoDell. I experienced that a few weeks ago, even just when I gave myself permission to work with some air dry clay
mhm.
and then took a walk. And the two of those things combined, all of a sudden I just had all of the like this explosion
Yeah.
of ideas. And I was like, it literally happened. It had to be because I set everything aside and just played with clay and went for a walk.
That's what I was going to say is this idea that like we are so ingrained in this culture of productivity, right? That we constantly, it's just interesting how many people apologize for not producing something or doing something, right? But like if they just sit and watch a show or if they sit and read a book, that somehow they need to apologize for not doing something productive. Yet the more we take time to be what we would consider unproductive, the more productive I ended up being, right? So like you're saying, I did the doodling and gave myself time to do that. And all of a sudden there's like, I just started thinking about new and different things that got me more excited about like what's to come.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And being able to attach that to a walk, even like I can't, yeah, it's weird. It's like, you just get it's a surge of energy that is just really changed the way that I'm approaching 2026 and the next semester. And I'm super excited about it. It's powerful stuff. Like,
Yeah.
So I keep thinking, how can I give my students space and time to doodle in my class?
But I love that you said giving yourself permission to not have like a product at the end, not to have that productivity. I was thinking about, I've been doing a lot of driving, like highway driving lately. And typically I like a lot of chaos, a lot of noise, however, I noticed that I would go hours with not talking on the phone, not listening to music, just being. And that's pretty opposite of how I typically am. And it felt really good. Like and I was like, wow, it's been hours, and I was just in that quiet space and it felt really good.
Yeah.
So being open to different kinds of things.
Yeah. It's not like now I always have to drive in silence because it's the magic, whatever. It's no, I realized in this moment that this felt really good and I let myself go with it.
Giving yourself permission for something that might be different. I like that. JoDell said that.
Yeah. And I have found it's really strange, but it's probably good, but I have found too that I'm much more connected to and aware of Julie, like my wife, and engaging with her in a different way. It's just, we've had like the best break that we've had in years, I would say, just being in each other's space. And it's not, we haven't done anything. We haven't produced anything, some cookies here and there, but like we haven't done anything. But the space that we're taking up right now, because we're each doing things that quieter or things that we enjoy, it's just, the space that we're both in is much more positive.
When you take care of yourself, you're nicer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have more patience and you're open. I don't know. You just, all of a sudden there is space there for you to like pause and listen to others.
Yeah. It's very exciting.
Well, I can't wait to hear more and follow the journey.
You're just going to get a lot of doodles from me this year.
I'll take it.
I'll take them. I'll put them behind me. It will make a nice wall for
we can wallpaper.
Well, literally though, like you held up one of your doodles a few minutes ago and I thought it was fabric. I really because right now when you held it up, it looked like a card or something. But the first time you did it, it was flat. And I thought you were holding up a piece of fabric. It looked printed and just colorful and fun.
Did you make it in is it a card?
It was a paper, but then I cut it and put it in a card because I thought I would write in it and send it to my mom.
Awesome.
And think about how you're positively impacting relationships. I love that.
Yes. Connecting with people, Holly.
I know that. Yay.
So here's a second question. This is one that's kind of been on my mind a little bit, especially since getting to visit new places last year, both outside of the States and in the States. So where is somewhere that you would like to go or do this year that is new or different?
Going to New Zealand last year, or this in 25, was amazing. Like it really had a big impact on me, for like professionally and thinking wise about opportunities. And so I would really like to go back and be more intentional about every minute that I spend there, and just doing a little bit more research about I found a kindness foundation sign while we were there. I took a picture of it. And so I've been researching them about all the different things that they're doing related to kindness and taking care of each other. And I would love to go back there and serve. I would love to go back and volunteer and help and learn more about that and bring it back here. So that's one thing I have on my cool list. Really, really want to do
Can
that.
we just take a moment to pause and say, wait, there's 4 of us here, and I'm the one that didn't go to New Zealand.
We
We took you there. We took you with us in spirit.
Yes, we did.
You did, and you all did a great job of sending me pictures. And I've been begging Amy to do an episode on the podcast in the very near future, like maybe the next one, who knows, about like I want to ask her questions about New Zealand, because I've asked the 2 of you a lot of questions, just, here and there, but I really want to do you actually went to New Zealand. We want to know all the things.
And if we do that, I definitely need you all to be a part of it in some way, because I feel like I have my one experience, but there was certainly so much more to be had. Well, and I know one of the places I really want to go is somewhere you're going this year, JoDell, but I really want to go to Ireland, and then I also want to go to Scotland too. Like, so in my head, I have been throwing around the idea that I desperately would love to go to Ireland and Scotland. And then I don't know if it's going to happen in 26, but one of my like goals, it's been a bucket list for a while, but I feel like I can kind of write it out and say it now. I want to go to one of those like Arizona spas. Like, I want to go for a couple of days and have like all the crazy treatments and like, I don't know, be wrapped in a mud mask. And like, I want to lay in the sun, and I want to have facials, and I want to do all the crazy things that you see in movies and all of that. I want that experience so bad.
I love that for you.
I know, that sounds amazing.
I mean, if you want someone to go with you,
Multiple someones.
If you like a travel partner, if you need a chaperone, whatever you need, we're here for you. We're those kinds of friends. We're there for you.
That works. Thank you.
That sounds amazing.
So what about you all? Where else Holly shared where she would like to go? She wants to go back to New Zealand. I would love to go back to New Zealand too, but definitely want to try some new places. What about Cheryl or JoDell?
I have been saying for years that I want to connect more with I've always said Norwegian roots. Sometimes I say Nordic, sometimes I say Scandinavian. Then I did the DNA test, and I think I'm more Swedish than I am Norwegian, all the things. And I'm learning that Scandinavia is not the same as Nordic. JoDell's been to Norway. That's on my bucket list. This year, I have very serious and reservations. So this better not change. Like, this year is the year I'm going to visit Sweden, visit Finland. And so I'm digging into those and really learning right now about some of the differences between Sweden and Finland, because JoDell, I see you kind of nodding your head. So help me if you know this, but I think it's that Finland isn't part of Scandinavia. I think Denmark is. But if you say Nordic, then maybe Finland is. Anyway, but here's the thing I hadn't ever really thought about, but it's been proposed to me as an opportunity. So I'm going to take it. When I'm in Helsinki, it's like a 2-hour ferry boat ride to Estonia. And why wouldn't I?
right.
Do a day trip there? That's a place I haven't thought about before, but since there's this opportunity and invitation from someone, a little more local to also do it at the same time, I'm going to add that to my places I want to learn about and capitalize on. I just love going to new places. So while it wasn't on my bucket list, I'm excited to add it.
That's awesome.
And
Go for it.
and because Amy said she wanted to go to Ireland and Scotland, I was like literally Googling yesterday what conferences are happening in Ireland and Scotland in 2026, because that's how I often like figure out how to get places is where can I go present?
That's
Yeah.
smart.
I feel like I'm the complete opposite right now because I don't want to go anywhere.
That's
You
okay
want to
too.
be home.
I'm
Hey, there.
I mean, I'm
that is
going to
awesome.
Ireland on a study abroad, which I'm very excited about. I love to travel. I love to travel. So I have been to Norway and it was phenomenal. And I actually was just talking about the similarities between Norway and New Zealand just this morning with a friend. So I absolutely love to travel. For some reason, I'm feeling very homebody-ish right now. Like the idea of traveling is not like I used to feel really motivated to travel. Like I really want to go here and I really need to see this. And right now I'm very much like wanting to just experience home.
Mm-hmm.
So traveling in Michigan to places that I haven't been, like this state is amazing. And I haven't been to the Upper Peninsula since I was 10 years old. So, yeah. And so, I mean, we crossed the bridge and went to St. Ignace for a hot minute, but I've not been to Marquette. I haven't been to Copper Harbor. I haven't been to any of those places. And I really would like to do that. But I'm also really interested in some day trips to places that I haven't been. So, but most really, this sounds really I'm so dull, but I am loving being home with my dogs and my wife. I'm really struggling with the idea of like leaving right now.
You're satiated, right? Like you're
am.
for now, right?
Like-
it doesn't mean you'll always be.
Like sitting on the couch reading a book with my puppies is just, I feel like life just doesn't get any better right now.
That's awesome.
I love it.
It's funny. Julie laughs at me because that's never been me. Like I'm a go, go, go. And like, I haven't done enough and I haven't seen enough. And right now I just feel very content with like really appreciating and being where I'm at.
That's awesome. What a good feeling.
And doodling.
Yeah.
With your puppies.
With my puppies who I can't stand. I've become one of those dog moms. I just don't want to leave them. Like, I feel terrible because my daughter's like, yeah, sure. She's like, you love those dogs more than me, which is not true. But I can see her point.
But don't you think, though, in some ways, because I mean, all of our listeners know, and you all know that I have the puppy as well, but don't you feel like you have so much more time in your life right now, even though your life is just as busy? Like, I have so much more mental ability to like be with this puppy than when I was a mom with young kids. I was barely hanging on half the time, like it was just go, go, go. Like, I don't feel like I could just sit back and enjoy every moment that I do with her as much.
I wonder how much of it, Amy, is the fact that the puppies don't want anything from you.
No, exactly.
They
don't
just
talk
want
back
to be
either.
with you. They don't want,
Right.
They don't need anything. And I think that's part of the contentment. They're just happy sharing space with you. And how many people are you with that just enjoy being in space with you? You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to, other than feed them and take them outside. They really just like being in your space. I mean, I don't know very many people that feel that way about me, and they do. So I'm in love with them.
Fair. Very, very good.
I love the greeting you get from a dog. I love that. I mean, cats sometimes you'll get like all right, you made it. But like the dog is very happy to see you.
I
love
left
that.
the room for 30 minutes and I came back and it was like I'd been gone for months. This is the best thing ever. Nobody does that. I've been gone from work for 2 weeks. I'll come back and people will be like, hey, whatever. Hey, JoDell, how are you? But my dogs, I'm gone for 30 minutes and it's like, where have you been all my life?
I love you so much.
My daughter sent me a picture last night of my dog. I've been gone a lot, and my dog just looking at her like, And Julie said, I think Millie's over it.
Yeah.
She's like, get back here.
All right. So I have another question to jump into, and this is kind of a two-parter. So I'm going to ask it both collectively, and then you can decide which one or if both you want to answer it. And so this is at the end of this year, what would I want to say I'm proud of myself for? So this is how I'm splitting it in the two part. So we are at the end of a year. We're at the end of 2025. What are you proud of yourself for having done in 2025? And if we're looking at a year into the future, what are you going to be proud of yourself for having done this upcoming year?
For me, so I am actually applying for professor salary adjustment in January. And so I've had to actually sit down and look at all of the things I've done since 2022. So I think I'm most proud of the fact that I have found a way to connect the things that I love the most about teaching with my scholarship and my service. For the first time in a really long time, it looks like JoDell is this person, right? This scholar, this academic who's really interested in teaching and equity-minded practice. Like everything that I've done is threaded through that. And I think and I realize I'm supposed to be talking about like what I'm proud of in 2025, but that's
either one. She said either.
No, either.
Yeah. So I feel like in putting all of that together, I've been able to notice that like I do have a really distinct area of that I'm passionate about that is now part of my teaching, my scholarship, and my service. And that was exciting for me to see. When it's all over the place, you're doing all of these things all the time, you don't really notice how connected the things are. And so that was really interesting to me. So I'm proud of the fact that somehow it clearly was intentional, but I didn't like set a goal to make that happen. I feel like it's kind of my values now are showing up in the work that I do. And I'm excited. Like I'm proud of that.
Wow.
And positively impacting so many people in the process. That's awesome.
Well, I hope so.
I know so.
There's so many ways that anyone could look at that. And this may be way off the mark, but I just feel like I am seeing the evidence of the wisdom that comes from 5 decades of life and being true to yourself and just all that there is to offer in every era. Threw that in a little bit, right? But I don't know. You've said so many things today that just show how, I don't know, right now you're in this place where multiple things are coming together, new things are happening. You're feeling like you can even give yourself permission to rest, relax a little bit. Like it just sounds so beautiful.
Yeah, I feel like finally at this point in my life, I feel like my core values are showing up in everything because my two core values are learning and authenticity. And so I feel like that's evident in the things that I'm spending time doing. So in the research that I'm doing and the teaching that I'm doing, it just feels like I am actually living into my values in ways that I wasn't before. And so, yeah, maybe that's where that contentment comes in too, is that the things I'm doing are now in line with my values. And so I feel balanced in a way that I haven't necessarily in the past. So that's
awesome. I'm happy for you. That's awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate that. But I think it also speaks to how important it is to know what your core values are, because they do impact and influence every choice that you make, the decisions you make, the things you do. And when you aren't living into your values, you do feel unbalanced. And so when I take the time to do a core values activity with my students, I feel like it is a valuable practice for them to know who they are and what they value, because it matters.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Brene Brown and Cheryl Priest.
All right.
Was my name just in a sentence with Brene Brown?
It was.
I love that. That's
because,
awesome.
I have to talk about my strengths too, along with my own.
Okay, now then, Amy, I'm going to answer the question. What's one of my most proud moments of 2025? JoDell put my name in the same sentence as Brene Brown.
I love it. Yay.
I love that. That's awesome. When I think about 2025, I think of the craziness and the chaos and, just being busy. And I think about how joy has showed up in so many ways, in relationships and in family and at work and in classes and, in so many ways that I hadn't anticipated. I've always been really interested in learning more about like humor and joy and those types of things, but really seeing it apparent in lots of different ways has been awesome. I'm just really grateful for all those opportunities. And I think another thing that happened in 2025 was being so honored to receive an award that was named after Lori Ryan, one of our friends, who just made a huge impact in life. Just to be even considered for an award that, like, she was amazing. She, just for listeners to tell a little bit about Lori, she was one of our coworkers and was a trooper as she battled cancer. And she was so good at really making positive connections with others and really building a positive sense of community was something that it was so important for her. And so then CMU came up with an award based on her work and her ability to build that community and to be a person that made such a positive impact in other people's lives. And so every year a person is able to win that award. And so just to be even in a discussion with her name is huge. And so that was really a huge highlight. And I remember thinking, like, when the award first came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder, like, that'd be amazing to even like think about that. And so for that to happen, makes me teary and just feels amazing. So I'm really honored.
I love that for you. I think that's just to hear you say, like, you couldn't imagine, like, or you couldn't imagine, like, I think all of us would say, like, we couldn't imagine anyone else being, a recipient. That would be so amazing. Like, that so fits you, Holly.
Mm-hmm. Amy.
Yeah, I think for myself, I'm proud of the fact that I was really new at a lot of things. Like, I think with the exception of my immediate family, I think there was something new in every other aspect of my life this year. Like, I took starting the podcast, starting a doctoral program, getting a new job. There were a lot of newness and meeting new people because of all of those things. And all have been great and heavy, and traveling to new places. Like, it's all been really, really good. But I think this year I'm looking forward to the opportunity to maybe pick one or two things that I can be even better at, and maybe getting back to a place where I like new. Newness doesn't scare me, but I also like feeling comfortable in a way, or feeling like I'm a little more knowledgeable in something, or I have some level of expertise. And so I think for 2026, what I would like to do is pick one or two of those areas where I feel like, you know what, I killed this. I went from new to feeling like I really knew what I was doing. And so I think kind of that knowledge base, maybe a little bit of, I don't want to say perfection, because I don't look at perfection, but refinement and a development of skills that feels comfortable is maybe what I'm looking at.
So you want to become JoDell?
Yes. I would like to step into JoDell's space there.
I have a question. It feels like it might be more of a summary question. And so before I ask it, I'm wondering, JoDell and Holly, do you have anything you want to toss in, or are you happy just going along for the ride?
I'm good.
I love a good ride.
Especially back and forth on the highway in silence.
Once in a while.
I was going to ask about a lesson learned in this past season that might inform you going forward. We might have touched on that. I don't know for sure. So if you're like, oh no, I totally have a lesson learned, definitely share that with us. But the other thing I think I'm wondering, and I'm not necessarily closing this out because Amy might have more, who knows? I'm wondering right now, if you think about your interactions going forward into this next year, how do you want people to feel after interacting with you?
Valued. I want people to feel valued. Like, the time that they spent with me wasn't wasted, that their time, their brilliance, their person was valued.
I love that.
Yeah. I would love for people, when they interact with me, to walk away feeling like that was time well spent.
That's awesome.
Cozy just agreed. I don't know if you could hear it.
Hey, Cozy.
I would agree with JoDell, and I would say that they are important, that their ideas are important. Them showing up is important. I think that little things really matter. So if someone is debating if they should show up or not, I want them to know that they're important, and it's more important that they're there, that it's important that they got the courage to raise their hand and share an idea, or, say something that they were not so sure about. Their work, their thoughts, their idea, their presence is important.
I think for myself, I would, and I don't know if this is the right word, so it might be more of a description, but the word that keeps coming to mind is authentic. And what I mean by that is that somebody in my presence would feel like they could be exactly who they want to be or who they are, and that that's okay, that they don't have to change or muffle or be different, and that they could be who they are.
So funny that you say that, Amy, because I was just talking to Julie the other day about you, and that is how I see you all the time.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
just someone who you just are one of the most accepting people that I'm like. I feel like you could enter any space, and the people that are around you just feel like you're meant to be there. Like that's not, I don't feel like they have to shift or be something they're not to be in your space. And so it's just interesting that you said that, because I just was talking to Julie about that the other day, just how you have such a way about you. Yeah. That you just seem so at peace with who you are, where you are all the time. People around you feel that way too. Like it's just easy to be in your presence.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's so kind.
That's awesome.
That is now my proudest moment of 2025.
JoDell, look at you being a game changer.
You're up, Holly. I can do it. I think I did that for you already at the very beginning. I'm done. Peace out.
You have completely fulfilled your. It's a good thing that we have a few more hours until the end of 2025. We're just checking the boxes. We're just going through.
It's over.
And
That's
you can be
awesome.
on every episode from here on out. Holly, JoDell, Cheryl, Amy, Cheryl.
I love it.
As I think about my answer to that question that I actually asked, I'm thinking about sometimes feeling like time is being pulled in lots of different directions. And for me, one of the things I really value, thank you for bringing values into the conversation, JoDell, is the ability to offer quality time, to be present enough for someone else that they felt a connection, hopefully a joyful connection. And so I just, hearing you talk about the valued, the importance, the authentic, I think for me, something that I really want people to feel after that interaction is that I was there truly listening in a way that they felt connected, because there's just so much connection missing right now, and loneliness and all of that. So I think that's just something I want to think about going forward is, even when I feel like time is slipping away, how can I bring it back in and grab onto it and offer it to others? And so I think, Amy, I just want to bring back what you said at the very beginning. We asked some fun questions. We laughed. We got serious. We hope that you all were thinking of your own answers as the conversation progressed. And one of my biggest hopes for this episode and one of my biggest hopes for this year is that as we think about life and as we live life, we know there's going to be some hard times. Hopefully, we know there's going to be some joyful times and all of the emotions and things in the middle as we move into this next year. But I really, really hope that we can truly connect with you all and hear what some of those answers were from this conversation. We'll put the questions back out there so that you can share those answers that you're willing to share with us, and maybe move forward into this year asking more of those questions. Amy's a good question asker, and I'm learning to ask questions. So we want to do that with you all. We want to ask those questions and really hear your answers.
Thanks for tuning in to This Was Supposed to Be Easy. Remember, the best stories are the ones we live.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep the conversation going, because life may not be easy, but listening in should be.
Stay curious, stay connected, and keep wondering.